Awesome. Hey, welcome in, guys. Just a little bit early, but that's okay. June here. I just want, before we begin, we've got plenty of time to just see if you can create just a little bit of wall space, okay? Now, if you haven't got a wall or a door, don't worry too much about it. I'll give you a couple of options. It's just using, say, downward facing dog to use as a shoulder release, and also if you have got a secure area, this afternoon maybe just to do a walking up the wall into a half handstand. Now, totally up to you. There'll be that variation and you can just be in downward facing dog. So welcome into Sunday. It's a beautiful day. The sun is coming in, but I have got the lights on up above as well. So if you're coming in, welcome into Sunday. If you're not and you're outside walking and making the most of this beautiful afternoon, make sure you record this and then play it back for yourselves later on. It will be a yoga practice this afternoon. Plenty of variations, a little bit of strength, a little bit of softness. So you'll have that also really nice blend as well. So make yourselves comfortable. If you're already coming into Shavasana to just relax, then do so. Taking your time to just breathe in and out through your nose. Now we're also going to hope, I have got Mr. Mac just sitting in the sun, sunbathing himself right now. I'm kind of like hoping that the sun stays out and he will stay still and he doesn't interrupt our flow. I'm kind of like picking on him now and he just might go to sleep knowing that Mum's just going to be here in the room with him. So that's all cool. Alright, so I'm just going to check now just to see if you can see me here. Looks good. Lights are coming down, lights coming in, so I shouldn't be in too much of a shadow. Yeah, you've still got some nice sunshine there, Mac. Good, yep, and that looks good as well. So while you're all coming in, it's about 5 now. I decided today, because it was such a beautiful day, that today I would bring my drum in. I know. So this is an African drum. And so it's kind of like energetic, so it's a little bit more yangy, okay? But it can be quite subtle as well. So you hear that deep resonance. That's where we want our breathing to be, right down here, deep into the belly, and the vibration carrying on through our body so that it finds us at that deepest level, at our cellular level. I can actually go crazy with the drum because it allows you to kind of like create a dance, which is actually, you know, like an Indian dance. If you're lying in Shavasana or corpse pose, just to see if you can pick up this vibration. Listen to it now. I know. Energizing without it being piercing. The soft drumming. And as the energy starts to pick up, the vibration gets stronger. My dog's looking at me as if to say, "What on earth are you doing, Mum?" I say, we'll put that aside. I'll keep it out of the way of the wall. Good. Hoping that you're coming in. Still a couple of minutes to go. As you know, most of you, I like to be early. And it's actually really pleasant here in my space, in my studio this afternoon with the sun coming in. It was over that side earlier this morning, but this blue sky is still out there and it almost like feels that it's a spring day rather than it being a day as we shift into autumn. So how have you been after daylight saving. I've enjoyed it. However, my sleep pattern is still a little bit kind of like not quite sure where it's supposed to be finding its way to. I guess by the time it finds its way into this kind of like really zen place, I'll be ready to go back to work, and then I'll have to kind of like wake up and go, actually now you need to be up at 5:30 instead of 7 o'clock. So that time change and the time going to bed, time getting up in the morning, I'm sure each of you are also working through that as well. All right, so I'm hoping that you're all in now, because you need to be. A couple of minutes to begin before we bring our practice into the beginning. So making sure that you are lying down comfortably, knees into your chest if you want to. Now if you've got the wall, utilize it and take your legs up the wall into your relaxation if you wish to. Right, come with me, if you're not already, to the floor, to the ground. Close your eyes, legs bent or extended, hands on the belly, leading up towards the heart chakra or the heart center. Take a full breath. And as you breathe in, just allow yourself to draw all of this beautiful, not only the sunshine that's happening outside of your space right now, but just visualize it now coming into your body, giving your body all of that vitamin D and indeed all of that energy. So we keep breathing in and we breathe out. Finding your way through your body, following your breath. Noticing where your in-breath is taking you to. And letting go of any of that stuff if you've had a busy day on your exhale. Taking 2 more breaths. And then just making your intention as to what you want this practice to be about for yourself. So let's release ego. Let's let go of any expectations. Let's come deep into self and ask your body how it is feeling for you right now. Waiting for its response, and don't be in too much of a hurry to listen to your head. And then let go. Alright, so let's first of all just bring your right knee into your chest. So chest, belly and thighs, nice and gently massaging. Extending the right leg just to allow the hamstring and the calf to just have that little bit of release. Now I've kept my left leg bent at this stage, so I can really push that foot down. I'm going to now lift up my head and my shoulders and just feel that nice stretch through my spine. Now you can hold on to the ankle or the calf. I'm going to go up there to my foot, just asking that lower calf and those Achilles to just gently stretch out. So driving up into the hand, just getting a bigger stretch all the way through the body. Then the shoulders and the head will come down, we'll bring the leg with us. So just feel it come in through the hips. And then we'll bend the leg and we'll let it go. Give yourself a couple of moments to just adjust here. Once you've kind of like just released and stretched out one side, there's that little variation, so you have to wriggle yourself around. When you're ready, bring that left knee into your chest, give it a big hug. And then we'll start to extend that leg, rising up to find the calf or the ankle. Head and shoulders coming off the floor. Now remember, pushing that said foot down as we allow ourselves to catch this leg and maybe catch that foot. driving the heel up. So you're going to feel not only lower calf, but you're also going to incorporate all the way down the leg into the hamstring. But stretching through the spine. And then release shoulders and heads to the floor, and then we'll release that leg back down to the ground. All right, we're going to roll over, and as you'll see, I've been joined by a dog, but that's okay. He's quite fine. So I turn around this way. We'll come into extended child pose. I just push his bottom out of the way. Good boy. So hips back to heels, take a nice stretch. As we've just changed the body's position. Allowing the head to just fold in when you're ready. And excuse me, I have to move you in a minute. I know you have to go back to your sun-shining place. As we walk our way back through, take plenty of time, if you've got a cat or a dog, okay, to draw navel to spine, chin to chest, and create your happy cat. Bringing out the head, taking your time, following the chest, shoulders sitting back, and finding your happy cow. And tucking your toes under, shifting hips back to heels, crouching dog. Lifting hips up, creating the full downward facing dog, driving the hips back and the heels as close to the floor as they might go. Now this is a flow class, so just take your time, returning back to all fours and releasing your feet. So as we come into extended puppy, when this puppy wakes up, he might be able to demonstrate. The hands go slightly forward. Now the hips stay up high now, and we encourage the chest to go to the floor. Allowing the chest to come down and the elbows to come down, and the chin may just touch the mat. Now, watch this movement of coming back into cat now. So you draw your navel to your spine, and suddenly the elbows are lifting up off the floor and the head's now coming in between your shoulders. As the head starts to come out and the chest comes down and the shoulders go back, the hips go up high and they sit just over your knees. So now we've got that little back bend. So watch as we draw navel back to spine. Elbows lift up because the hips are lifting up. Head comes in between your shoulders. Gives you much more open space across the back and the shoulders. We bring out the head. Down goes the chest. Up go the hips. And down with the chest goes the elbows. And take your time from here to walk your hands back so you're back into tabletop. To tuck your toes under, push your hips back, crouching dog. Good. Lifting up the hips into full downward facing dog and taking those heels as close down to the ground. So I've just allowed my body to just extend a little bit, giving myself time in my downward facing dog. So I'm going to look out to the side. A little bit of movement here from the hips through the back and the shoulders. Looking back for my feet, and then looking out past my fingers. Now, if you can get here, that's a beautiful stretch all the way through your calves to your hamstrings. We come back into pulling that head back in between those shoulders. Return those knees back to the floor, and let the feet relax so the soles are looking up to the ceiling, and come into point of balance to hold. To change in your own time, breathing in and out through your nose. Changing in your own time. Try and get a breath here and make sure that that foot at the back is securing you to the ground. One more time. and returning the knee and the hand to the floor. All right, so let's open the hips. Take our hips back to our heels. Keep up quite high here. So this is a variation of thread the needle. I'm going to take my elbow right across the front of my body and see if I can sit it right in front of my right knee. And you let that arm extend, but you pull your body back to the center and you drop your right elbow to the floor. You try and allow your left shoulder to go down to the ground and just slowly. Don't drop your head down. If you can get that head right over your arm, fine. If not, you'll just hold on here, tucking your chin into your chest and strengthening as you length through the neck. So we lift up and we pull that arm back through. So make sure you stay and start up about here. So here comes the right arm, the elbow coming right across, sitting in front of your left knee. Arm extends, you pull the body back to look to the center and try and encourage your right shoulder to go down and your left elbow. We lift back up and we pull that arm back through. Awesome. Now tucking the toes under, let's come back into downward facing dog. Alright, so let's get those hips moving now. So right foot to the outside of your right hand. Take a nice long lunge. Pull the leg back and switch it back into the inside of your hands. Long lunge. Take plenty of time. So the hips need to come up to slip the foot back to the outside of your hands. Take plenty of time to come as deep and as low as you can. So the left hand stays to the floor and your torso opens to your twist. So the arm that's extended can sit on your hip or you can wrap it around your back. Just making sure that you're releasing and opening the chest. If the arm goes up there freely, it's fine. But as we rotate all the way back around, if the arm is here, bring it forward, feel that body come all the way back around and step back into downward facing dog. Take plenty of time. I'll switch around now to the other side. So take your time as your left foot steps to the outside of your left hand. You pull it back to bring it to the inside. You pull it back and take it back to the outside. Keep your right hand to the floor. Turn your torso first. Good. Extend the arm or on the hip or wrap it around the back. But try and slide it down the hip so that you can actually bring out the chest a little bit more. So if the arm is here, make sure your back leg is still working. Back it comes, full rotation with the body, and we go back into downward facing dog. Pause here, maybe about 5 breaths. Good. So let's walk hands back to feet and folding forward. So this is where we're going to use the wall, and we'll do the releasing before we do the strengthening. So inhale, look out to the middle, to the top of your mat, and then just allow your fingertips to come forward just in front of your feet. So you can really push those feet down all 4 corners. On your exhale, everything folds forward from the hips, and you can hold on to your ankles here if you wish. We'll let go of the ankles and we'll roll up into our mountain. Nice and slow, and up we go. Now, take your time. Swan dive, arms going out to the side. Keep moving them as they go out behind. And imagine that your arms and your hands are finding the wall now. So tuck your chins in, Bring your hips forward. And then shoulder blades together. And when you release these arms, let them just imagine that you've now taken the full flight and you've landed all the way back down to the earth. Now, we're going to roll back up nice and slowly. So, that's your option if you don't want to use the wall, okay? So we've got big extension into your mountain. Take a swan dive and come forward. Walk your hands forward. So when you bring your hips forward, you can push down through your heels. So you've got that whole back of your body taking the stretch. If you come up onto your fingertips, you can bring out your chest. When you fold forward from the hips. Now, say we've come back down and now the arms have gone out behind at the same time that we're coming forward. So I'm not bringing the hands together to tighten them. I'm letting them fly by themselves. And then we come back down. Now, if you want to sit, feel free to sit. Okay, I'm going to go towards the wall. In a downward facing dog, my fingertips come here to the wall. I'm going to walk into the wall and you tap your head right in until your shoulders find the wall, but not your head and not your neck. So you're settling here and it's quite comfortable. Hips free, crown looking down, and really there's a lot of work still going here. Just remember not to push your head into the wall. So now the arms come away and they find the wall. And it's a really, really nice stretch. The arms come back down. Now, you just make sure here that you push the hands down into the floor. You walk back into your downward facing dog. And here, as I turn around, I'll do a little bit of a skippity skip. Then come to sit. Namaste. Now, we haven't finished yet. Good. I don't really know. That's cool. So now I'll reverse that for you. Okay, so I'll come up nice and slow. So my bottom now goes against the wall. Okay, my feet go just slightly forward and then I'll come back down to hang. Now at this point here, okay, I will be able to take my hands just in front of my feet, walk my feet back and will keep my hips attached to the wall, so that I can then allow myself to push the hips against the wall. Now, there's so much more work going here. So you can't use your calves, a little bit of a bend at those knees, and then here, take your time. You can allow your arms to fly away, but now, this is the balance. As the head goes in and the arms come away, you have to push your feet and your hips against the wall. So notice how far my arms are not going to go now. I can change that a little bit by taking my feet a little bit further forward, but I want to keep that work all the way up through the backs of the legs. As I'm coming back down, remember those hands come forward, you look out, you take a step wide, and you drop back down. Good. So now, if you manage to do that with me, come back onto your mat. Let's take a breather. Roll down through your spine. Come to starfish. Bend your legs if you wish. But I want you to place the hands on the belly and the chest. And now just breathe. I want you to feel the work and the change. So we're going to slow down the breath. We're going to keep moving that energy and allow ourselves to feel that flow continue through our body. From the tip of your nose to the smallest toe. and then you can open your eyes. Now, before we continue, feel okay about extending your right leg, bringing your left knee towards your chest, and then with your right hand guiding the left leg over. Easy spinal twist here. Bend your left arm, get that elbow back to the floor, and keep the chest open and the shoulders, your upper traps, to the ground. So the shoulder blade, your wing, can just come off the floor, but make sure you don't roll off to the side. And you will see this when I move to the other side. Now, if you need to have that extended leg bent, please feel free to do so. We roll back to the centre, this leg goes down, this leg gets drawn back, and then guiding that right leg over to the left. So here's my right arm. Most people have it really overextended, locking at the elbow and pulling on the shoulder. So bend the arm, get the elbow to the floor, hand to the hips, to the ribs, to the chest. So this is encouraging that beautiful spinal twist. Also that nice release through your hips and your buttocks. But you want to keep this chest open. And slowly returning back to the centre. All right, bringing back both legs to bend, both feet to the floor. Now to lift up your hips and pop your hands underneath. So you create this nice little diamond between your index finger and your thumb. Then we'll extend the legs up towards the ceiling. So I found that this is a really nice, safe way for people that maybe are a little bit uncomfortable about rocking their bodies up. Everything's active all the way from my big toe now to the tip of my nose to my third eye. So up everything comes together because you've got the elbows there to assist you. So let's roll ourselves over. Good. And let's prepare for our work. Now tucking your toes under and see how happy that downward facing dog is for you now. So we come forward to plank, knees to the floor, release your feet. Come down to hold crocodile. Push back up and go back into extended child pose. Now we'll do that one more time. You come forward, we come down to crocodile. Now I've got my knees on the ground, so you can push up and then we go back, hips back to heels. As we bring the hips forward, tuck your toes under, come into downward facing dog. Come forward, knees to the floor, release your feet. Come down to crocodile, but swoop through to find cobra. You can go down a bit deeper if you wish. We'll lift the hips up, tuck your toes under, and back into downward facing dog via your thighs and your hamstrings and your buttocks. Right foot steps through to the inside of your hands. Good. Right foot steps back to plank. And then to downward facing dog. Right leg goes in the air, same leg. You bend the leg heel to hip, and when you come forward, you bring your knee to the outside of your arm above your elbow. We go back into three-legged dog, and then you step that foot through to the inside of your hands. Good. Step back to downward facing dog. Come forward plank, knees to the floor, release your feet, come down crocodile. Sneak forward, lift up, hips up, tuck toes under, hips back, downward facing dog. How are you all feeling so far? So good. Take plenty of time. Left foot comes through to the inside of your hands. Good. Back to plank. To downward facing dog. Left leg extends to bend. You come forward to bring the knee to the outside of your arm, above your elbow. You go back into three-legged dog, and you bring that foot through to the inside of your hands. Step back to plank, to downward facing dog. Forward to plank, hover full crocodile, and land to the ground. Now, lifting up your chest, moving your bodies around, hands to the outside of the chest. Bend your right leg, reach for the right foot. Bring the heel to your hip. Pushing the thighs into the ground. Releasing the right leg, bending the left, reaching for the foot, heel to the hip. Releasing, take your time. So lifting up the chest, good. Now lifting up your thighs. Now lifting up your hips. Now tucking your toes under. Find downward facing dog. Alright, bend your legs to crouch the dog. Look to your hands, step, jump, sprint, or just walk. And get your feet to the inside of your hands. Take your time to set your feet apart and fold forwards. Now we're coming into mountain. Take your time, listening to your breathing, and when you're in mountain, slow everything down. Bring the hands to the heart center or the heart chakra. Just listen, feel, wriggle your toes. And then open your eyes. Awesome. So if you haven't got the wall, don't want to use the wall, then that's fine. If you've got the wall, or a door by the way, door is fine, as long as you know nobody's going to come inside to your space. So just working through a supported handstand here. So I'll go into downward facing dog. I'll get quite close to the wall and you can see I've got my hands almost already underneath my shoulders. So that when I get to take that leg up the wall, it'll go up, push, here comes the other one, and I can lengthen out my legs. When I come down, it's like crouching dog, and you've still got that nice strong support through your upper body. Core muscles working overtime. And then jump down. Bring your feet out and sit back down. Cool. That was like a little frog. If your wrist and your hands are already feeling that through the sequence of downward facing dog and now the wall, just give them a shake. Good. So now you can see when we use the wall for, say, a half handstand, the importance of the connection of the foot to the wall, no different to the foot to the floor when we come into three-legged dog. So this often, once people are okay about getting up the wall, this allows them to kind of like really work and feel the muscles of their legs connecting all the way to their core muscles. So I'm just going to go back up there. And then I'll extend the leg so it looks like the three-legged dog. So I'll go up, find my way up here. Good. Then I'll let that leg come in the air. And I can see where it's gone. Now I have to push that foot against the wall, push the hands down into the ground, and fire that leg up towards the ceiling. I'll bring it down. I'll crouch the dog. I'll go back up, just reset, and then I'll lift that left leg up. I'll find it straight up in the air, right leg pushing against the wall. Leg comes back, crouching dog, and a little bunny hop we land back to the floor. And then we come back to sit. Now, if you did all that with me, whoa, high five, which means that we now need to rest. So, if you can bunny hop onto your mat, around your mat, and then find your way down to the floor. Now, if you can't come down these safely, just remember, turn over and come down onto all fours. So let's rest. Hands back to the belly, noticing the change and the rhythm of breathing, and also the heart pumping. It's like, wow, man, it's doing its job, pumping all of that oxygen around into my muscles now primarily, into my respiratory system. I do need to now have to slow that breathing down. Good. It's almost like regathering, recentering. So the yang turns back to yin, softly. So to encourage the breathing here, let's find bridge. So remember, as we did before, everything needs to be getting pushed down against something so that the energy can come up and lift us up. Not drive us back or drive us forward. So just making sure that as you lift up that chest, shoulders go down nice and deep. I just like to sit my hands on my hips. Close my eyes and breathe. And find that activity all the way again from my little toe down there to the tip of my nose. Don't have to hold on tight. Good. Just breathing now. So notice the breath now has really slowed down. Giving the body back its reserves. Now, as we went up, we'll come down, but the other end, okay? So come down through the top, releasing out of the shoulders, middle back, lower back, anchoring back down to the ground. Now, again, if you want to roll it over, fine. Otherwise, here come the hands underneath. The elbows are just out to the side. There go the legs in the air, and it just allows and encourages you to really work those core muscles here. Pointing the feet or flexing, doesn't matter as long as the legs are working, and up we come. Awesome. All right, so let's roll back around. And if you're at home, you will feel that the sun has kind of like just come down a notch or three. So take your time, gauge your energy, and then when you're ready, come back into downward facing dog. So now just stepping your right foot through to the inside of your hands, keeping your left heel off the floor. Arms coming forward, lifting up into warrior lunge. Take your time, arms go out to the side and the fingers to the floor. Now, land your your left heel to the floor. Good. And lift up into warrior one. Open the chest. Try and create the crescent moon. Arms going out to the side, hands coming back to the floor. This time we'll release off that heel and we'll take that right leg back into downward facing dog. Now I'm going to reverse this. So your left foot comes through, your right foot pivots, and we open into warrior two. We'll shift the left hip back and create your triangle. Take your time as your arms go out to the side. Travel down the back leg, sun warrior. Looking down, looking up, looking out. Just feel where the head needs to go via your back and your shoulders and your legs. Coming back to the center. So right hip pushes out. We come forward to the left. Find the triangle. The extended triangle. Now as we bend into this leg, taking your left hand to the outside of that left foot. Right hand comes to the floor. Now left foot is already in the front. Right heel's off the ground. Come up into warrior lunge. Arms going out to the side, down to the floor. Anchor your right heel to the floor. Come up into warrior one. Crescent moon. Looking straight ahead. Feeling where you're supposed to be going. Try not to let your head lead your body. So make sure you're lifting and reaching. And then arms go back out to the side. We come forward, back down to the floor, and step back into downward facing dog. As I turn around, take your time bringing your right foot through to the inside of your hands. Swivel left, open into warrior two, and then extend the right leg. Good. Sun warrior, travel down the back leg. Beautiful. Come to the center, left hip goes out, we come forward, but the hips and the shoulders are still in the same place. Here's the hand just to the inside of the calf. Left arm, and notice how we can come a little deeper as we get this extension. Hips come down and body comes down accordingly. Bending into the front leg. Hand goes to the outside of your right foot. Turn that around into your lunge. All right, so this is knee to nose, nose to knee pose. So hands just slightly forward, power off the back, let the leg go up, pull the head in. Now, you can keep both hands on the floor, even one out wider. One finds the ankle, and as you go in, the leg comes up, and you create a scissor. Pushing the feet down strongly, lifting the hips up, encouraging the other leg to go up nice and high. Now, when I come back, come out slowly to return your left foot to the floor. Fold forwards. Hands come forward. Just fingertips, bring out the chest, hands can be wider, and then you slip that right foot out of the way. Taking one arm out further, so that's my right now, as I find my left finding my ankle, and then in I come to find my knee with my nose. Now remember, push down and feel yourself flying. One side not so stable as the other, so you've really got to work hard through the foot, all the way up to the core, and then you bring the leg back, nice and slowly, and we fold forward. Take plenty of time. We're coming back down to the floor, slowly, safely, and roll yourselves back. Now, feel each vertebrae as we come down to the ground. Bring your knees to your chest, open your hips. Flex your feet and find your happy baby. Now, just make sure all of this lower region of your body is kind of like anchored to the floor, okay? Like we've actually created this bowl for our hips to sit into. So make sure your shoulders and your heads are back here. We've done lots of movement that this should hopefully sit there for you. So you don't actually have to reach up and try and catch your feet, okay? They can be here as long as you keep your legs active. If you want to come up, make sure that you're not bringing your shoulders up and compensating here to find your heels. Good. And all we're doing here is just basically just anchoring everything back deeper down into the ground. Arms are to the inside of those legs. You can bring them into butterfly. You can take those legs and extend them. Now, just stay here, just let all of that energy find its way back, filling up the heart again, okay, with love and compassion rather than the physical stuff now. So close your eyes and just allow your body to now absorb all of those other goodies. You know that your body is working and your bodies are functioning. So all you need to say now to your body is thank you very much. Feel its warmth, hopefully feel its glow. Combine that with the beautiful sunshine that is out there still this afternoon, even though that sun has dropped quite amazingly. And then when you're ready, bend those legs, lifting up the hips just enough. All right, so rather than rocking it up here, my little variation of your boat pose now, okay? So I want you just to take your time. Here's your elbows out here, taking your legs down to the ground. So again, move your hands around so you can actively work your core muscles here. So chin into your chest, head comes up off the floor. As we lift, we pull the elbows in. It's so much easier than trying to get those hands underneath when the chest and the shoulders are a little bit tight. So here come the activity in the legs. Nice supported boat pose. A reminder to keep your core muscles working, your chest open and your shoulders sitting back. Breathe into this now. If you want to create a scissor here, keep your legs active. One leg might go down and you pull it back up. The other leg might go down. You could be changing your oars in your little rowboat. Two legs might go down, not very far, before you pull them back up. And then find your happy boat. Make sure your elbows are underneath your shoulders. You're pushing down into your hands, down into your elbows, but using the muscles of your legs. They're starting to tremble now, so the feet will come back down to the floor. Let the elbows come out, and then slide the spine back down to the ground. Lift up the hips and release your hands out of the way. Bring that right knee back into your chest. Slide your left leg down to the floor. Find your heel and sit this foot just on top of your thigh. A variation into half lotus, or I like to call it lying tree. Bring the hip back in, you give it another hug. Should be able to here, bring your head up and kiss your knee. Everything down there is anchored. Release the foot, release the leg. Feels good. Out comes the other side. Good. So remember, you open the hip, heel's quite close. Find the heel. Make sure you don't twist your ankle. Place that foot on your thigh. Close the hip, pull the knee back into your chest. Now, these are our expectations, that if we can do this on one side, we can do it on the other. Not necessarily. So let's tuck the chin in. Let's see if we can. No, not quite. Knee to nose, nose to knee. And then shoulders and head, releasing the leg, and just allow yourself to come into butterfly, just lying down. So just make sure here that you're sitting into your sitting bones, guys. So if you pop your hands just underneath your back, you are on a little bridge, but just make sure that your cheeks are here and giving you that support. You're sitting on your sitting bones, so you're not actually putting any pressure into your lower back as you just allow yourself to relax and those knees fall out to the side. Close your eyes. Now, if it's not comfortable, close your hips, bend your legs. Now let's come back nice and slowly. Now you'll need to just jiggle just a little bit, and then we'll roll it over, and then we'll find our way to sit. Now remember, sit cross-legged. Don't have to sit half lotus. Sit butterfly if you want to, or even just allow your legs to relax and extend them. So wherever you're happy, so I want you just to place your hands just on your thighs. Let's just close the eyes. Let's just sit up tall and sit up proud. But importantly, sitting tall and proud with the strength that you've gathered as we have been moving through our body. Our yoga practice and our movement is so different to just moving our body and just stretching without thought or without intention, or noticing or watching where our breathing is going or not. Importantly, to notice in many poses that we might hold that we also hold our breath, not consciously of course. So now while we sit here, allow yourselves to sit as quietly in your mind as possible, as still in your body as possible, but knowing all of your systems are working and moving. So let the breath flow. On a beautiful day like today, easy to allow yourselves to come into your imaginary world. Listen, maybe for a sparrow or a bird, maybe the gentleness of the breeze, or if you're close to the beach, the tide coming in and the tide going out. Now bring your hands to prayer, draw them to the heart center. We'll bow your heads, together we'll bow our heads to say thank you to our bodies, to honour breath and life together, and to take time to just to be with your body more than we often are. Therefore, most of us have to actually make the time. Now just sit there quietly. I'm going to gong with the crystal ball just one time, and then you can open your eyes and bring your heads back just along your shoulders. Just pause. And with that vibration, hopefully you are sensing and feeling the same throughout your body. So I hope you enjoyed your practice this Sunday afternoon. Namaste. Lovely people. And Mr. Mac is still over there in the sunshine. I don't know whether I can kind of like pick up my phone, whether or not you'll be able to see him. Can you see him? Maybe not, maybe not. Can you say hello? No, nobody can see you. No, that's okay. That's all right. Thank you, everyone. Remember, if you haven't been doing, make sure that you do later on in your own time.